Good evening. My name is Alexandra, and today I wanted to have the discussion about disciplining children, which is a big thing these days considering they think everything's abuse. People frown upon spanking and disciplining your children in public, which is understandable. Beating your child in public is not a very good look. I remember when I was little, and I would get in trouble for like little things like leaving my shoes on the floor, leaving trash somewhere it shouldn't be. I mean, although my mother told me not to leave it there or not to do that, I did it anyway, and I got in trouble for it, which, I don't blame her. My kids, if I tell them to do something, I mean, I need them to do it and not leave their shoes in the middle of the floor while I'm trying to walk or anything like that. I think disciplining your children is important. There are some people who don't need to discipline their kids, and then there are some people who do need to discipline their kids. And there's many ways you can discipline your children. There's writing something 10 times each, or there is exercises that you can make them do, like wall sits or jumping jacks or run around the backyard a few times. It's just your preference. There were times when I was younger, and my mom was the disciplinary person. I got in trouble at school one time for talking back to the teacher. The teacher called my mom, and I had to come home, and she had to come get me, which made her mad, which of course I understand. And, well, now I understand. But, she made me go to her job with her, and I had to sit in the booth and write, "I will not be bad," or "I will behave from now on," like it seemed like 1,000 times each. That was a good way for me to, you know, get disciplined. There were other times where like she would spank us, like me and my brother. If me and my brother were fighting, I understand that now because I hate when my kids fight. But back then, she would make us, we'd have to work it out, and we would get spanked for being bad. Back then, you would see people in Walmart or any store, they would take their shoe off or start beating their kids, and it was acceptable back then. But these days, you can't do that in public because it's considered abuse. I think there's a line between abuse and discipline. Abuse is like leaving bruises and whelps and, obvious visual signs of abuse. Spanking your kids, through their clothes, give them a whop or whatever. I think that's acceptable. I do that first. I tell my kids, you need to clean this up. Next thing I know, they didn't do it. So I say it firmer. You need to pick this up. They still don't do it. Then, I'll take something away, or they can't go outside and play. They'll get grounded. If I see something else happen, I spank them, but then I let them know why they got spanked. Like, I asked you to clean your room 2 days ago, yet here it is still dirty, and you didn't pick up one Barbie or one toy, or you didn't pick up your games or straighten. I just feel like it's your preference. If you feel like spanking your kids is acceptable in your house, then that's, your house. But I feel like not every child needs spanking. Some kids, you can just talk to them and be like, hey, do this, and they'll do it. Some kids that have like learning problems, or, some with ADHD that just cannot sit still, I don't feel like they should be spanked, but I mean, that's not my business. And there are ways I do it differently than my mom did it, or my aunt does it differently than I do it. Everybody has a different way of disciplining their children. And that's fine. But when your kids are in public and acting out in public or at a doctor's office or the dentist, I feel like that's when you should step in and either give them a firm speaking to or spanking, like take them to the bathroom. I don't know how many times I was taken to the bathroom when I was little. I don't really have to do that with my kids though. Like, I feel like from a young age you teach them the right and wrong, and when is a time to act a certain way and when it's acceptable to act a certain way. Other than that, I think, it's up to you. And people, they say it's abuse and it's against the law now, but I think you can discipline your kids as you see fit. They're your kids. And people getting in other people's business, I seen on one of our town's website, the Grapevine, where a lady said that she was at a store and the kid was acting up and the mom spanked him, and she did not think that was right, but the kid was acting up. So I mean, I feel like the lady should have, like, mind your own business, get your stuff that you need to get from the store, and go about your business. Don't worry about what this lady's doing. I mean, as long as she's not like punching them, that's a different story, like punching your kids. But I feel like it's up to you, in all honesty.